Let me tell you something that took me 15 years to figure out. The difference between the guy who gets the girl and the guy who loses her is usually not some big dramatic thing. It's not that one guy's taller, one guy's richer, one guy's better looking. More often, it comes down to a moment. A make or break text, a strategic pullback, a read that you either got right or you didn't. I can't tell you how many coaching calls I've done with smart, successful guys who crush it in every other area of life. And the conversation almost always starts the same. Rob, she sent me this text and I don't really know what it means and I think I'm about to blow it. And what kills me is most of the time, the situation was completely salvageable. They were one good read away from turning the whole thing around. They just didn't have anyone to ask. That's why I built Rob AI. Rob AI is the closest thing to having me in your corner 24/7. It's an AI coaching tool built on my actual frameworks, my actual content, and the way I actually coach. Because the truth is, the moment you need dating advice most is usually not when you can book a coaching call. It's usually at 11 o'clock at night. She just sent you something that could mean everything or it could mean nothing. Your buddy's asleep, Google's useless, and you're sitting there, thumbs hovering over the keyboard, about to make a bad move. That's the moment that Rob AI was built for. Now, could you ask a generic AI tool for dating advice? Sure, but generic AI gives you generic answers. It gives you the safest, broadest, most watered down version of what the internet thinks. And when it comes to dating, that's usually not enough. Rob AI is different because it's built on my actual coaching brain. It's trained on thousands of hours of real coaching calls, real client situations, my books, my courses, and the frameworks that I've developed over years and years of doing this. So when you ask Rob AI a question, you're not getting a committee answer. You're getting my point of view, my read, my strategy. And that's much different than generic reassurances, much different from vague therapy speak, and very different from some soft, just be yourself hallmark bullshit. A real answer for your real situations. Now, here's what this looks like in practice. Some guys use it to read text threads. Maybe she's been going hot and cold. Maybe her last message, it feels kind of ambiguous. Maybe even the vibe shifted and you can just feel it. Rob AI, it doesn't just tell you, yeah, bro, she likes you. It reads the dynamic. It looks at the tension, it identifies the pattern, and it tells you what's actually going on, what your move is, and it also is going to tell you why. But honestly, it's not just about reading her text, it's about writing yours. And this is one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I've gotten from guys using it. They are blown away by how good Rob AI is at actually helping them craft text that they can send. Which makes sense because the whole system is built on the Magnetic Messaging 2.0 framework. In fact, my favorite way to use it is simple. You describe a situation, you tell it what you're trying to accomplish, and then you ask it to give you 3 possible texts to send. Not 1, 3. Because now you've got options. You can see the different angles, you can compare tones, and you can go back and forth with it. You can say, I like the second one, but make it a little bit more playful. That one is a bit too aggressive. Dial it back. Give me one that's a little bit more cocky, but still warm. And that's where it gets really powerful. It's like having a writing partner that actually understands attraction and knows what works. And you can keep refining until you land on something that just feels right, something sharper, more calibrated, and it still sounds like you. And most guys tell me that after a few rounds, they end up with a text that they never would have thought of on their own, and it hits perfectly. You can also use Rob AI for date prep. Tell it where you met her, what the vibe's been like, where you've been taking her, and you can also tell them what you're unsure about. It'll help you frame the date properly, avoid needy mistakes, and go in with a better read on the situation. It's also incredibly useful for pullbacks. This is one of the biggest areas where guys screw themselves. Things were going well, and then suddenly the energy just kind of changes and she gets colder, slower, less invested, and most guys panic and then they make it worse. Rob AI helps you figure out whether she's testing, distancing, uncertain, avoidant, or if she's simply losing interest. And then it tells you how to respond without guessing. And sometimes you don't even need a move. Sometimes you just need to think out loud with something that actually understands dating dynamics. Not a friend who tells you what you want to hear, not a therapist who asks how it makes you feel, a straight talking coach that can tell you when you're overthinking, when you're being weak, and when you actually need to do something different. And here's another thing that makes it unique. When you sign up, you fill out an intake, similar to what I use with my private clients. We talk about your situation, your patterns, your blind spots, the kind of women you go for, and what keeps tripping you up. So Rob AI isn't starting from zero every time you use it. It knows your context. That means advice that isn't generic advice for some random guy. Instead, it's calibrated to you. Now, right now, Rob AI is in a soft launch. I'm opening it up now to my audience before the public launch when I bundle it with Magnetic Messaging 2.0. When that happens, the price is going to go up. But right now, you can get it for less than $2 a day. My private coaching costs several $100s an hour. One session with me costs more than 1 full year of Rob AI. And I price it that way on purpose because not every guy who needs this can get access to me directly. And if you get in now, you keep the founding rate for as long as you stay subscribed. But once a public launch happens, that window closes. Now look, I'm not going to tell you this thing is magic because there is no magic pill for dating. I've been saying that for 15 years. But guys who do well consistently usually have one thing that most men don't. They get good guidance in the moments that matter. That's what Rob AI is. It's fast, it's practical, it's personalized, and it gives you access to the way that I actually think right when you need it. I genuinely wish I had something like this when I was single and I was stumbling around New York trying to figure all this out on my own. I didn't, so I built it. Try Rob AI for a week, and if it's not for you, email me and I'll refund you. But if you want better reads, better decisions, and fewer avoidable mistakes, click the link and I'll see you inside.